Welcome back to another episode of Tech Tuesday on the Educational AD Podcast. We'll be right back with today's tech guest, but we want to give a shout out to our podcast sponsors, WeCoach, and the global community of women in high school sports. And now let's have a quick word from our sponsors. We want to say thanks to Vital Signs Wall of Fame for their support of the podcast. Go to vitalsignswalloffame.com or email them at sales@vitalsignswalloffame.com and check out their touchscreen consoles and their library of templates. If you're looking for a really cool way to recognize your school record boards for all your sports or your school's Hall of Fame, that's vitalsignswalloffame.com. Let them help you showcase your school's diverse history and your proudest moments, and help recognize the athletic achievements of your students, both past and present. That's vitalsignswalloffame.com. We also want to say thanks to Sideline Interactive. Their indoor scoring tables and video boards not only generate income for your department, but also create the ultimate game day experience for your student athletes. We've got a Sideline Interactive indoor scoring table in our gym, and it's just great. We use it for home games. We use it for pep rallies. We also use it for signing ceremonies. It's tremendously versatile, and their customer service is second to none. Go to sidelineinteractive.com or email them at sales@sidelineinteractive.com. Schedule a live web demo and see their tables and boards in action. That's sidelineinteractive.com. We also want to say thanks to Hometown Ticketing, the leading digital ticketing provider to schools and colleges. Go to hometownticketing.com. They're going to show you how to set up and sell tickets for your events online. They'll show you how to scan the attendees that come to your games and collect your revenue. And every step of the way, you're going to have a dedicated client success manager that's providing hands-on support. That's every step of the way. Go to hometownticketing.com. They'll also show you how to sell tickets for things like school dances, school plays and concerts, even graduation. That's hometownticketing.com. Simple and easy online ticketing. We also want to thank Snap Raise. Go to onsnap.com. That's onsnap.com to see what their entire platform can do for you. There's several different areas. Snap Raise is their fundraising platform that our coaches have used with great success, and you can too. They've helped schools just like yours raise thousands and thousands of dollars. Snap Spend is their money managing platform. Snap Mobile allows you to communicate with everyone in your department. You can also see at Snap Store how you can order spirit gear for students and families and every member of your department. Snap Manage is their website platform. They'll help you design an entire website for your athletic department. And Snap Connect is their multilingual family engagement platform that allows you to support every family in your community. You can find it all on onsnap.com. That's onsnap.com, or contact Snap Mobile, your Snap Mobile representative, to get all the support you need. That's onsnap.com. We also want to say thanks to Gipper. Go to gipper.com and see how athletic directors are creating world-class content for their school's social media channel. You can do it in seconds on any device, and you don't need any design experience. Go to gipper.com and tell them you heard about it on the podcast. Use the podcast code ADPOD10, that's ADPOD10, and get 10% off. Go to gipper.com, start creating custom branded content for your school's social media channel. We also want to say thanks to Huddle. Go to huddle.com. Huddle is how the world sees sports. Over 200,000 teams use Huddle to help their athletes and coaches perform at the highest level. As a football coach, I used Huddle for years, and as an athletic director, our school was a Huddle school, and our coaches just loved the mobile apps, the smart cameras. Of course, they love the analytics, but there's so much more. Huddle has the tools to help every team, every coach, every athlete perform better. And if you go to huddle.com, you're going to find a professional grade solution for the challenges your athletic department faces. At Huddle, we believe in sports and teams believe in Huddle. Can 6 million users be wrong? Go to huddle.com for more information. We also want to say thanks to Final Forms, the industry leader in forms and registration, but they are so much more than that. Final Forms can help your stakeholders with things like mobile accessibility. And they've got reminders for parents about policies, about physicals, and all the forms that come with being an athlete. Final Forms can also help your coaches with things like attendance and communication. And for athletic directors, Final Forms can help you with eligibility and rosters and all the reports that come across your desk. You know, it's time that you talk to a team that's walked in your shoes. To take the next steps, go to finalforms.com/Jake. That's finalforms.com/Jake to get started with Final Forms. And before we go, we want to say thanks to Athletic Surveys by Lifetrack. Surveys by Lifetrack are a quick, easy, and affordable way for you to collect comprehensive data that allows you to evaluate and improve your entire athletic program. At my schools, we use surveys for just about everything, for teachers, for coaches, for kids, and for parents. And the information that would come back is almost always positive. But surveys also allow that squeaky wheel parent to vent a little bit. And sometimes they're going to share a small issue that you can address and keep it from turning into a big issue because you didn't know about it because you hadn't done a survey. If you've never used a survey to take the pulse of your parents or your student athletes, you're really missing out. Talk to the folks at athleticsurveys.com or email them at info@athleticsurveys.com to get started. Hey, welcome back, everyone, to another Tech Tuesday in our ongoing series of tech tips for athletic directors. Our guest today is Tyler Palmer. Now, Tyler is the product manager for Snap Store, which is part of the Snap platform. We've had a couple reps from Snap share with us. So, first of all, Tyler, welcome to Tech Tuesday.
Thanks, Jake. I'm happy to be here. I'm excited.
Well, again, if you're a new listener, every Tuesday we try to share a tech aspect, an app or a tech hack that's going to help an athletic director. And as you know, Snap Mobile is one of our sponsors, and we've had a couple different representatives from Snap share. So before we get into that, Tyler, we always like to let our listeners have a chance to get to know our guests a little bit. So give us that quick bio, where you were born, where you grew up, maybe a sports background, and what led you to your present job at Snap.
Yeah, absolutely, Jake. Thank you. So as we were just discussing, we found a lot of common denominators, right, from our past already. So myself, I've grown up in South Florida, specifically the Pembroke Pines area, born and raised, currently reside in Fort Lauderdale now. I have an athletic background, which is very much like everybody else in Snap. Probably you can already tell from some of the speakers we've already had. Everyone, likes athletics and they like helping kids. They like helping coaches and athletic directors, which is why we end up in this company. My athletic background, I was a baseball player. I grew up in the South Florida area, played baseball, played at Flanagan High School. Originally my freshman year, I graduated from University School of NSU, small private school here in the Davie area. My brother coached me there. I come from a family of coaches too, so we'll dive into that. But when I was done, I graduated in 2010. I went to play college baseball at University of Florida my freshman year, and then actually transferred to University of Miami, where, obviously being a South Florida kid, that's where I always wanted to play. I always say going to Florida was a business decision initially my freshman year, but then, everything brought me back home. So loved my career at Miami, played baseball there for 3 years, graduated 2014 with a sports administration major, and was very fortunate enough to go ahead and play professional. I was drafted in the 21st round and played 2 years with the Los Angeles Angels. Decided to hang them up. I had bigger aspirations. They weren't professional baseball. I could not compete with Mike Trout in the same outfield. I was an outfielder, so I decided that I I had another passion calling, right? And it's kind of what led me into Snap. When I was done playing in 2016, one of the first jobs I ever applied for was actually Snap. And it was a very interesting interview process, because not many people get to talk to the CEO in an interview process, but Cole Morgan was my final interviewee in the interview process. And it was very evident back in 2016 how special this company was and their mission. And ever since 2016, I've been rocking the S out at schools, talking to coaches, talking to kids, and it's been a very, very fun ride.
Yeah, again, for our listeners, we've got some common locations, some common friends in the world of athletics. Which, again, if you do something long enough, that's going to happen. Tyler, as I shared with you, our listeners are almost all athletic directors. So share a little bit about maybe the overall, the Snap empire, and then we want to take a deeper dive into what you do with your part of the platform. So for somebody who's completely clueless, what is Snap and why should they care?
Yeah, absolutely, Jake. So, I started my career with Snap back in 2016, and we were predominantly just a digital fundraising platform. Many of the AEDs, I've had the pleasure of shaking their hands and getting to know them in the South Florida area, Miami, all the way to Palm Beach County, and I hope they're listening here. Snap Raise has been the dominant digital fundraising platform within the space, right? But over the course of the last 18 months, we have taken our product to another level. You now are hearing us, I don't want to say rebrand, but really talk about Snap Mobile, right? Snap Mobile being this ecosystem of products, and the product that I oversee today is Snap Store. Snap Store, what it is an e-commerce solution to our athletic directors, to our coaches, right? Jake, you were an athletic director, right? You worked with your coaches, you helped them provide solutions, you helped them work with all these vendors, right, and vet them out so that your coaches have the best resources possible. One thing that's always very difficult for our athletic directors is to go through that process and get the knowledge that's needed for what they want to give to their coaches to make easy decisions. And as I'm sure, dating back to your history, online everything has really boomed, right? The last 5-10 years, even more so over the last 2 years with COVID, where getting spirit wear to your fans is not as easy, right? The last thing that you probably want to do, Jake, is open up your tent with all your gear on a Friday night football game, right? To maybe sell half of it and then still retain that inventory. And at the end of the year, you're in the negative. I've had too many conversations with athletic directors over the years when it comes down to district budgets and whatnot. So what we do at Snap Store is we have the e-commerce solution to make spirit wear more accessible to that mom, dad, that grandma, grandpa that may not even be in the area, may not even come to Friday night football games, right? But still wants to support your brand that you're building at your program, right? Your coach's brand that he's building, that kid that is playing, right? Whether he's a freshman, junior, sophomore, senior, grandma, grandpa that lives in, let's say, Iowa, right? But son plays in, Orlando, Florida, not able to come to the actual game on a Friday night in Orlando, but they're still able to wear that brand in Iowa. You know what? We have a lot of recognizable brands here in Florida, as we all know, when it comes down to Friday Night Lights, right? So that's what we do. We make spirit wear more accessible by giving coaches, athletic directors, an online platform to put their brand on items and distribute it, sell it to their fans, and in turn, make a little profit back. But most importantly, relieve the stresses that usually come with, selling apparel at games or within their own fan stores, or even, some companies today do open up shops, but they're not accessible, 24/7, 365. And, ours are. We don't close them down.
That's certainly an advantage, the 24/7, but as you know, there's a lot of different, vendors and providers out there. What are some other advantages, from your perspective, of the Snap platform?
Yeah, absolutely. So we like to take the position where we're going to take away all the headaches from you that comes down with the inventory management, right? That comes down with the customer support, that comes down to direct to shipping to actual customers, right? a lot of online solutions today, although they're online for a certain period, right? And even though they're online, they have a great checkout system. That all those orders still may be going direct to you as the coach, right? Or direct to the athletic director. And the last thing you want to do is get a box of 100 items, right, at your doorstep and have to call down your football coach and be like, hey man, I just got 100 items. Congrats. But how are we going to get it to all these customers? Now I have to ship it to all of them, or I have to contact them to actually get them to the school, right? Unfortunately, we've seen that, and that's why we're creating the solution. So that's one of many features that we have today that we ship direct to the actual customers for a very low cost of shipping, $4.99 or $6.99. We're talking about shipping from either Detroit or Seattle all over the country for that price, no matter how big the actual order is. So we don't have any inventory minimums. One item is all you check out with, so you don't have to purchase anything in bulk. We do have bulk pricing discounts too. Very much like everybody else. Upcoming, we are still within our first year as a product to be built, and it's pretty amazing what we've been able to do. We've served over 7,000 customers today, 7,000 stores, and that's just starting. So a lot of great features that are upcoming. One big thing that we have, Jake, is giving our customers a little bit more ownership of their actual platform. So we're building a web application where customers will actually be able to go ahead and see their orders, interact with store points, right? We have a great concept that we're working on where, very much like airline rewards, right? You have a rewards point system, and that's what we're developing for our customers. The whole intention is to be able to serve more kids onto our platform, which you're probably hearing in a lot of our, talks. That's our company mission. We want to serve as many kids on our platform as possible by giving loyalty reward points back to our coaches and our athletic directors. We believe that they will be able to go ahead and turn that around and give it to the kids so they can get more gear, which in turn, is what really matters here at the end of the day. We all take, the job of coaching, right, to serve our kids. So that's, part of the intention of what we're doing.
I know the platform is, it's national. You've got tons of clients. What's an example for our listeners of a school that maybe came to you, with a challenge, hey, we can't do this, or can you help us with this? And Snap was able to come through and really stand out for them.
Yes. I won't say them by name, as I don't think I'm allowed to, but that's there was a softball team in the Northeast that they've been a Raise customer, right? So they ran a digital fundraising campaign for us with the last 2 years. One of their vendor had some issues with being able to create an online store for them. They used to work with a small mom and pop shop in the New Jersey area. And they just weren't satisfied with them over the last year or two. COVID made it very difficult for them. And the mom and pop shop just couldn't keep things up and running for them, and couldn't spin up a digital store for them to go ahead and make things accessible for fans outside the southern New Jersey area. So they came to us right in the right timing as we launched the product fully to the public, right around the time they ran their campaign back in, I would say, like March, April. So we also created a custom logo for them, which is very unique in the space too, where we don't just serve templates, right? So if your program name is Snap Baseball, it's not just Snap Baseball that's going on items. It is your logo, your brand. We're talking about brand building here, right? Brands win championships. We're talking about putting your logo on items, your custom logo. So they were happy. They were very happy, very pleased. It's something that their previous provider couldn't do for them, just with print methods, all the complications that go into it. So they are extremely ecstatic about that. So that's one of many customers that come off the top of my head. So it's a very cool story.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Again, for our listeners, we're talking today with Snap, which has a tremendous complete platform. If one of our listeners wanted to find out more about Snap, or pick your brain personally, what's the best way that they can get more information or get a hold of you, Tyler?
Yeah, absolutely. So our website for Snap Store is www.snap.store. .store is the top level domain, so it's not .com, it's www.snap.store. There is tons of information on our marketing site there, and there's also a form that you can submit to go ahead and request a store. No questions asked. You'll most likely hear from myself after you submit the form, or Corey Reed, who handles our onboarding for customers. So we'll just ask for a few details regarding your store and your logo, and we'll be able to turn that around for you guys in 10 days. If you want to reach out for more questions directly, I recommend working with our support team, who's awesome. That email handle is support@snap.store. So again, it's support@snap.store.
Well, for our listeners, our guest today on Tech Tuesday has been Tyler Palmer. He's the product manager for the Snap Store part of the OnSnap platform. He just gave out the contact information. Again, my familiarity with Snap as an athletic director, our coaches use the Snap Race fundraising app, and it was just fantastic. And as I've gotten to know more about the platform, I think their other features are definitely worth a call. So Tyler, thanks again for sharing with us. Go and give out that website and contact information one more time, please.
Yeah, absolutely. It's www.snap.store. That's our marketing site. On our site, you'll be able to retrieve some information regarding Snap Store. And there'll also be a form there to submit that'll go to either directly to myself or Corey Reed, and we'll be in contact with you. You can also reach out to our support line at support@snap.store. Again, it's support@snap.store.
Okay, great stuff. Tyler Palmer, Snap Store. That's www.snap.store, part of the Snap Mobile Snap Raise empire. Thanks so much for sharing. All the best. And, we'll look forward to, maybe talking to you at the NADC conference coming up in December.
Absolutely. I'll be there. Thanks, Jake. Thanks for having me.
For our listeners, we do this every Tuesday, Tech Tuesday on the Educational AD podcast, and the YouTube Zoom recordings of these interviews are uploaded to the Educational AD podcast YouTube channel. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next Tuesday for another tech tip, and just about every day for new content on the Educational AD podcast. Have a great day. I always enjoy Tech Tuesday. Those are great, great tips for ADs. We do want to say thanks to our sponsors. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see their logos up on the screen. We want to say thanks to Final Forms, the industry leader in registration. For more information about how Final Forms can help you, go to finalforms.com/Jake. I want to thank Gipper. Gipper.com allows you to create world-class marketing content for your school's social media channels. Use the podcast code ADPOD10 and get 10% off. We also want to say thanks to Snap Mobile. You just heard from part of the Snap empire. Snap Raise, Snap Spins, Snap Store, Snap Manage, and Snap Connect are all part of Snap Mobile. See how they can help you and your athletic department. Go to onsnap.com for more information. I want to say thanks to Huddle. You've heard me say before, as a football coach, I used Huddle. As an athletic director, we were a Huddle school. Go to huddle.com and see how they can help you, your coaches, and your athletes. We want to say thanks to Athletic Surveys by Lifetrack. They sponsor the AD Toolbox segment of our regular podcast. And we use surveys at my schools for years. And the surveys that Athletic Surveys by Lifetrack provides allows you to connect with your parents and your student athletes and provide you some great information. So go to athleticsurveys.com to get started. We want to say thanks to Hometown Ticketing, the leading digital ticketing provider to schools and colleges. Go to hometownticketing.com. They'll show you how to set up and start using online ticketing at your school. I want to say thank you to Wall of Fame by Vital Signs. If you're looking for a really cool way to display your school's record boards or your school's Hall of Fame, you can find it at vitalsignswalloffame.com. And finally, I want to say thanks to Sideline Interactive. Their indoor scoring tables and video boards are not only revenue creators, they're also the creators of the ultimate game day experience in your gym. We've got a Sideline Interactive indoor scoring table in our gym, and it's just fantastic. Go to sidelineinteractive.com for more information. Thanks again for listening to Tech Tuesday. Come back next week for another great tech tip, and just about every day for new content on the Educational AD podcast. We'll see you next time.